Hi mates! Welcome back to my channel. Today is a really important video because I got my little grubby mitts on the Nintendo Switch 2. And you all know about me. If Nintendo told me to eat dirt and change my name to Timothy, I'd probably do it. However, it is important to me that you get my full honesty throughout this entire Nintendo Switch 2 hands-on review. That rhymed. I'm a poet and I definitely didn't know it. So yeah, basically I'm going to be telling you the great and the not so great things about the Nintendo Switch 2, whilst I also show you around the Nintendo Switch 2 event. Let's go. So I made my way to the Nintendo Switch event in London and all the staff made the experience so much nicer. They were super lovely and it wasn't that busy either. I think only a certain amount of people were allowed to come. Nintendo did invite me there themselves, so I did get a little time slot, which I was a little bit late to due to the London traffic. I'm just not used to it as a country girl. There was a little bit of a wait, but then I finally got to have my one-to-one with the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm going to jump straight into it and talk about the console itself. Obviously, the Switch 2 is noticeably larger than the original Nintendo Switch. 4 inches high and 9.5 inches long. So that's about an inch taller and 2.3 inches longer, which doesn't sound like much, but hands-on, you can definitely notice the difference. I much prefer this size, and it was also really light too, so it didn't feel big and bulky like the Steam Deck does, because that thing is hefty. But I'm going to be brutally honest, why the frick frack did Nintendo not give us an OLED screen? I mean, the LCD screen looks great, but I do feel like it would have been better if we had an OLED Switch.
So this YouTuber has a lot of energy. I'm probably going to react to more of her reviews. I guess this is a type of a review. I'm going to react to a lot more of her reviews, and I want to see her take on. I guess that she's like a huge supporter of Nintendo. So yeah, I'm looking forward to looking at a lot more of her videos and seeing what she brings to the table in terms of her energy and her unique perspective. Because I'm not sure if she ever worked for Nintendo before, if she's a gaming expert, or if she's just someone who's just a huge fan of this IP and or company. Because this, you can't watch this video and not smile. Like it's like a certain aura to it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
On launch. It would have made so much sense, and it would have made it a better option money-wise and gave people more of an incentive to buy it at that price. Now, let's talk Joy-Cons. I tested those very taboo magnets. They simply clip on and off, and they're actually kind of sturdy, to be honest. And they're actually sturdy once they're in. There is a little wiggle to them, and people were worried about this when I was showing it, but it's really important that you have the wiggle, because if it's too stiff, it actually makes it a lot easier to break. Everything like that needs a little bit of wiggle room. It's just science. It's a scientific thing. Now, I'm unsure how the magnets will hold up. Will they get weak? I don't think that's how magnets work, but that's something that we're going to have to find out over the next year. One thing that I do hate about the Joy-Con is I think they're unaesthetic in the sense of on the Switch itself, the magnets stick out. It's an aesthetic thing, and I think it's pretty ugly, but apart from that, the Switch itself is very beautiful. Clearly a me problem. Oh my gosh, also they're a lot bigger, which is great. If you've got big hands, you're gonna find this thing so comfortable and not get any cramps whatsoever. I really like clicky buttons, and unfortunately the buttons of the Nintendo Switch aren't as clicky as I would like. They make a tiny sound, but they're not ASMR worthy, I would say. But the kickstand, now that's another thing. That is beautiful, sturdy, very well made, and way better than the original Nintendo Switch. Sorry, a little bit dirty then. I also got to play Mario Kart. I'm going to debunk quite a bit. I spoke to the Nintendo Switch staff and the pricing is complete lies upon lies. Not all games are going to be £80 or $75. Only some of the games are. Yes, Mario Kart.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm not particularly sure if her sources are 100% legit, but that was a huge snag for a lot of people. Now, I'm staying hopeful that she's right and her source is right, and this isn't like cap, and the prices for all the games will be that high. Um, this hasn't been confirmed yet, but like that's was the number one critique from almost everybody who was coming at a Nintendo Switch in a negative way. They said the prices are too high. It's going to start a trend for all games being like $100+ and et cetera, et cetera. It's the beginning of the end. So I'm hoping that she's right. And fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed.
Is going to be on the pricier side, standing at $75. However, Donkey Kong isn't that price and other games aren't that price. They're probably going to range from approximately £40 to 80. So the fact that everyone thinks all the games are going to be 80, lies. AAA games will be expensive, just like other games and other consoles released at £70, £75. Inflation is a thing, and unfortunately, it's such as life that the games have been raised a little bit more, and no matter what we can do, the gaming companies aren't going to lower the prices for us. And also, the cartridges are going to have the full games. Simple as that. We're not having half a game on the cartridges. Anyway, Mario Kart, it was way more engaging. The fact that you have 3 laps and you're traveling through the world over the 3 laps instead of doing a level over and over and over again makes it a lot more exciting, a lot more engaging, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could have played it for hours, but I was saving myself. Whilst playing Mario Kart, this is when I noticed how responsive, streamlined, and smooth the Joy-Cons were. The controls are way better than the original Nintendo Switch, and we're going to have so much more fun playing it. It's just less laggy. Just everything is incredibly smooth with the new Joy-Cons and obviously the higher capabilities. Oh yeah, also 24 characters in Mario Kart. Wow. And yes, it was 4K while stocked. I thoroughly noticed the difference. Oh my gosh. Okay, next up is wheelchair basketball game. Do not hate me here. Nintendo, this game is not going to be for everyone, and it certainly wasn't for me. Personally, I don't see myself playing games like this much at all. I think the tabletop mouse setup is definitely for a certain audience, and I didn't fit that audience. That being said, it was surprisingly comfortable to play like that, and I think due to the bigger Joy-Cons, your hands won't cramp up. So you may like that type of game, but I found the controls really difficult to get used to and didn't enjoy that game at all. So yeah, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Okay, now the time of my life. I got to play Donkey Kong. The game was incredible. The way the haptics work with the Joy-Cons is everything that I ever wanted. I didn't want to spoil it too much for myself, so I didn't play for too long, but the way you smash through everything is so I didn't want to spoil it too much for myself, so I didn't play for too long, but the way you smash through everything is so satisfying. Honestly, it felt like therapy and obviously cheaper as well. Beating your chest in real life makes Donkey Kong beat its chest, and they had a lot of features like that. Absolutely love it, or you're gonna hate it. Okay, now the time of my life. I got to play Donkey Kong. The game was incredible. The way the haptics work with the Joy-Cons is
There he is. There he is. Oh, I knew I saw that. I knew I saw that. Oh man, the enthusiasm for Donkey Kong. A lot of people like Donkey Kong. I've seen one guy at a Super Smash Bros. Tournament had like the whole outfit with like the tie and like I'm not sure if he wore like it was like a button-up shirt, but he definitely had the tie on. And he was wearing like no shoes, like he was barefoot. Like he had the whole Donkey Kong type of look. And you know, these these characters for Nintendo, they create these unbelievably fierce fan bases, like relentless fan bases. Like they're some of the most hardcore fans on earth, Nintendo fans, man. They just stay out of their way. Just stay out of their way. When they get passionate about something, they are relentless. They are relentless, and you can see that passion in their attire and the way they support these characters.
everything that I ever wanted. I didn't want to spoil it too much for myself, so I didn't play for too long, but the way you smash through everything is so satisfying. Honestly, it felt like therapy and obviously cheaper as well. Beating your chest in real life makes Donkey Kong beat its chest, and they had a lot of features like that. Absolutely beautiful. I think it's a game that you're going to enjoy so much more out of handheld mode as well. If you're usually a handheld person, trust me, 4K dock mode, dream come true. Do it, try it, thank me later. Now on to Cyberpunk. I think it's amazing that it even runs on the Nintendo Switch to itself. However, if you've got a PC, I would stick to playing it on the PC because you're gonna get better quality of gaming. However, the team have made Cyberpunk specifically for the Nintendo Switch too. So honestly, it does run very well, but please don't compare it to the way it runs on the PC because that is a different experience. I was genuinely so impressed, and I think if you're a handheld person and you don't have access to a PC, I would suggest buying it because you're going to get really good gameplay out of it, and the world does look great and it does run great. I ended the day say on the party games, I didn't think that I would care for the camera or the party games, to be honest. Don't really hang around with friends, so I wouldn't really see myself using this. But when I actually tried it, it was so fun. I had the most fun that day with the camera and playing games with it. I was screaming, jumping around, and the camera picked it up so well. The mouse worked perfectly in this game too. And the camera is tiny. I didn't even realize it was there until I put my camera down to film in front of it. It was that
Look how
small.
happy everybody is.
Okay. So quickly, I've yapped for so long. Let's go over my
Look
final
how
thoughts. The
happy
Nintendo Switch
everybody
2 has
is.
definitely gave the Switch itself a massive glow up. I'm definitely still mourning the OLED. I do wish that we did get an OLED version, but honestly, the Switch 2 runs so smoothly. The games, oh, they're just perfect. The way it's 4K when it's docked and everything just looks so perfect. The frame rate. I'm actually going to be able to play Fortnite on this nicely, and the adventure games I'm going to be so immersed in. There's also the haptic feedbacks of the controls. As I said, the basketball wheelchair game did feel a little bit gimmicky to me. I didn't really like it, but using the controls as the mouse overall with the party games, perfect, and it worked so well. Do I think it's worth the price? Well, yes, I do, because when you compare it to other consoles that are £500, it definitely makes sense to buy. It's had a massive upgrade, and I think as a Nintendo fan anyway, I'm going to have years of fun with this. And when you compare it to people going out and buying drink for £50 each, or going for meals and spending a couple of £100 buying designer bags, I don't understand the issue from buying a £540 console, which is going to last you approximately 8 years and give you so
Hmm.
much joy and happiness. I think we should stop judging people on what they buy. And I don't know, I think Nintendo Switch 2 is definitely worth it. I've tried to pre-order it on 2 occasions, and they sent the money back and said no. So I'm trying to still try and get a pre-order. Let me know what you think of the
Wow.
Nintendo Switch 2, and if you're getting the hands on it, I want your honest opinions. Don't sugarcoat it. Be brutally honest. We can talk about it in the comments. And if I do change my name to Timothy, dye my hair and eat dirt, you know why. Nintendo. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we can't leave without the cyber hugs.
All right. So this has gotten me more excited for the Nintendo Switch 2. Um, I know technically she's a fan of Nintendo, so her perspective is a bit biased. I'm not going to lie. You don't want to critique or come at your I don't want to say idol, but your favorite brand, your favorite company in a negative way. So despite her bias, she made some very valid points. Just watching her play Donkey Kong and seeing the way everybody else was using the controllers and the energy they had when playing the games, especially the ones that require you to actually jump up and move, and just the guy in the Donkey Kong costume, that really just that was just awesome. That was just awesome. I'm not sure if that was a prop or was staged, but I'm on the belief that he is just a random fan who decided to wear that and go to that event. That's my perspective. Um, it was just absolutely amazing, and I'm going to watch a negative review of Nintendo Switch, or a neutral review, and just to balance things out, just so you guys know I'm not like a fanboy. I want to be as objective as possible. But this review by this fan definitely has me excited. Definitely is making me more enthusiastic about purchasing a Nintendo Switch 2. Um, I'm going to react to more of her content. Just a more personal video of hers, like more leaning towards her life, or maybe like a vlog that she has, outside of her fandom, more focusing on her because I just like how genuine she is. So I want to see what she brings to the table in terms of her other content. But that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me babble through everything. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Are you guys going to get a Switch? Are you for the Switch? Are you against it? Are you only going to buy the Switch if they lower the prices? Are you just waiting to see what happens? Let me know. Keep it civil, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.